What is going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. This is your WrestleMania Backlash 2022 post-show review. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time in the intro. Let's just get into it. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins opened up the match. Seth Rollins was running around for a bit, and Cody Rhodes chases after him. Eventually, Seth Rollins traps him, turns around outside the ring, and clotheslines him from behind. Then we get Cody Rhodes doing a stalling suplex face forward in front of the middle side of the ring. And then he goes for a springboard knee. Cody tries to go for a cutter, or he tries to go for another springboard knee, but Rollins pushes him outside the ring, throws him to the barricade hard. Then he takes advantage. Cody Rhodes comes back around with a stalling suplex off the top rope. Then they started doing knife chops back and forth. And then eventually Cody Rhodes comes with a comeback and then goes for a suicide dive. But Rollins dodges it. Then he gets in the ring and tries to go for a suicide dive. But Cody Rhodes elbows him. Then gets back in the ring and hits the springboard cutter for the close three. Cody Rhodes wins. Well, actually, Seth Rollins tries to go for a pedigree, but then Cody Rhodes teases doing a pedigree as well. Eventually, Seth Rollins hits the, Moss Dusty Rhodes, hitting his combos. Eventually, Cody Rhodes, counters it, doesn't let him finish it. And then goes for the crossroad, a close three as Rollins' foot was on the ropes. And then Cody Rhodes he kind of does a crossroads, but Seth Rollins, he reverses it and then goes for a roll-up. But eventually Cody Rhodes goes for the roll-up himself, and he gets the 3 count. So with that being said, Cody Rhodes wins. He wins twice against Seth Rollins. Now I'm actually proud of that because I actually thought they was going to do a 50-50 booking, but that wasn't the case. Then I realized Cody can't be losing this early anyways. So regardless, I feel like this match was awesome as well. And, they both got chemistry together. This was a fantastic match. As much as I'm a huge fan of Bobby Lashley, this match was just lacking a lot in my personal opinion. Now, Bobby Lashley and Omos, they tried to go on for a bit. He actually ties Omos' arms into the ropes and goes after MVP, puts MVP into the hurt lock, but Omos grabs his head and gets him back in the ring. They start to fight for a bit, and then Omos takes control, goes to the ropes, and then Bobby Lashley goes for the spine buster, which he connects, counter. Then he tries to go for the spear, but Omos counters it and then throws him into the ring post. And then, he's talking to the referee. MVP comes and attacks Lashley with the cane, and then Omos takes control and hits Lashley with a 2-handed choke slam for the 3 count. So Omos beat Lashley. I didn't think they was gonna actually let that happen, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really mad about it. Hopefully it continues, but we don't know for sure. That is basically it for that match. I think I don't know what else they could have did better to make that match more excitement. But like I said, it is what it is. Edge versus AJ Styles, as I predicted. Now, I don't know if this match was actually better than they match at WrestleMania, because I feel like they wasn't trying to better they match at WrestleMania. That's just my opinion. But let's just get into it. AJ Styles hits a standing moonsault, a springboard moonsault outside the ring, landing on Edge. Edge starts to, target AJ Styles' arms during majority of the match. AJ Styles got back and tries to take control, but both ends up doing a crossbody to each other coming from the ropes. AJ Styles hits a hurricane off the top ropes. He goes for the Styles Clash, but Edge counters it. Well, actually, yeah, he counters it. He counters it, and then he tries to go for the Edge cutter, but Styles counters it into his signature net break. I forgot what it called. Then he does his cow submission as well. I forgot what they call it as well. But Edge goes for the crossface. Styles counters it again, puts him back in the submission. He almost submits Edge, but Edge eventually got to the rope break. Edge takes off the ring post little rug thing, but eventually ends up running to the exposed turnbuckle himself. Edge gets back up, goes for the spear, and tries to go for the pinfall. AJ Styles kicks out, tries to go for another spear, but AJ Styles with the knees up puts Edge on the ropes to position him for the Styles Clash. But Edge kicks out. He goes for the phenomenal forearm, but all of a sudden he changes his mind. Then he gets on top rope, and all of a sudden, who do we see? It's Damian Priest. He comes out and he says, "Hey, I'm not at ringside. I'm on the stage. It's a difference." But eventually Finn Balor comes out and he starts attacking Damian Priest inside the ring and then outside the ring. Eventually the ref was distracted with that, so somebody else comes out and attacks AJ Styles. And then Edge puts Styles in the crossface for the win as Styles submitted. Now the person that was attacked AJ Styles turns out to be Rhea Ripley. At first I thought it was Tommaso Ciampa, but then I realized, that can't be Tommaso Ciampa because, he's shorter than Rhea Ripley. So I said, you know what? It's Rhea Ripley. And I'm actually glad that they pulled the trigger on this because Rhea Ripley hasn't done anything in my opinion. So this was a great move for her. Now we got it. I don't know if this is it, but I feel like they're going to add Tommaso Ciampa in the team as well. So is they going to try to get Liv Morgan to sign along with Styles and Finn Balor? But yeah, this was a good match. I mean, it was an okay match for what it was. And then I seen a post on Twitter as well, and they talk about a Hell in a Cell match with Rhea Ripley, Tommaso Ciampa, Damian Priest, and Edge Judgment Day versus AJ Styles, Mustafa Ali, Liv Morgan, and Finn Balor. Now that is an actually interesting match right there. I would love to see that. I don't know if that's gonna happen because it's women's in the match, and I don't think they would allow the men to hit the woman regardless. They could have a random 8-woman/man tag team match, or they could have a 6-man/woman tag team match on Raw or SmackDown, whatever the case may be. I just don't see it happening at a pay-per-view. But that is that for that. We should be hearing more about this tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Let's continue to get down here reading these matches so far. Okay, so basically we have Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. Now I gotta say, Charlotte Flair actually looked like she was trying to sell for Ronda Rousey, but the least I can say was at least they tried together. It was actually kind of better than they Roman, and it was kind of better than a WrestleMania match, if we being honest. I didn't actually take much notes on this. Ronda Rousey did do the armbar on Charlotte Flair as Charlotte Flair was going for her signature moonsault outside the ring, but Ronda Rousey got up on the ropes and she attacks her, and then Charlotte Flair is hanging from upside down. Ronda Rousey got her into an armbar and tries to submit her, but eventually they both fell crashing down to the floor. Charlotte Flair does the natural selection on the chair. Ronda Rousey say no, she doesn't quit. And then we get to the ending of the match, the crowd chanting, "We want tables, we want tables." But they didn't get the table. They stood to their ending. Charlotte Flair picks up a microphone. She sits up the chair and she said, "This is your last chance. Happy Mother's Day" to Ronda Rousey. Then tries to put Ronda Rousey arm under the chair, but eventually Ronda Rousey counters it, puts her arm under the chair, and then turns it into a kind of like an arm bar, like her arms inside of the chair, and she does an arm bar, and eventually Charlotte Flair quits. She says she quits, which makes Ronda Rousey the new SmackDown's Women's Champion. It wasn't. I got it. Like I said, it was better than a WrestleMania match. I still feel like Ronda Rousey still needs a lot of work. I mean, she did say in the interview that she depends on her opponents to lead the match most of the time, and I don't blame her because, like I said, she needs some work. But excuse me. I'm interested to see where does this lead for Ronda Rousey as the SmackDown's Women's Champion. I don't even think we have any more heels left on the SmackDown Women's division. But I'm looking forward to this SmackDown to see what's next for Ronda Rousey. Now, before we head to the main event, we got a match: Madcap Moss versus Happy Barry Corbin. Now, like I said, I was actually excited for this match. It was a fun match for what it was. Eventually, Happy Corbin didn't get the win, but he did take control majority of this match. He got a one-handed choke slam. He did a knee to the back outside the ring, face first to the ring post. Corbin taking control as again. He does his signature running outside and gets back inside the ring clothesline, and then he takes advantage and attacks Madcap Moss some more. Madcap Moss counters one of his moves and then tries to take control of the match again. Well, he tries to get back into the match. He does a shoulder block, causing Corbin to get out. He does a follow-away slam, tries to run towards Corbin. Corbin hits him with the deep six. And then, instead of going for the end of the days, he decides to go for he tries to go for his signature clothesline, goes outside the ring, comes back in, and does his clothesline. He tries to do that again for the second time, but Madcap Moss counters it for the roll-up pin, getting a 3-point win. So that means Madcap Moss win this match. So does that mean that this feud is not over? Hopefully it's not, because he won off a roll-up pin. And like I said, if they want to push him as a singles competitor, please go all the way. Don't have do his push, then have him sitting backstage. If that's gonna be the case, then you should have kept him and Barry Corbin together. They worked it well together. They just showed you that in this match as well. They could have, been a tag team. They could have been one of the tag teams on SmackDown. They actually good together, and I just want to see where this pins out for Madcap Moss and where it pins out for Happy Corbin. What's next for these two guys? But Madcap Moss takes the win over Happy Corbin. We get to the main event. And then we get to the main event, the 6-man tag team match with basically RK Bro and Drew McIntyre versus the Bloodline, the Unification Champion, WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, the Bloodline. This was a fun tag team match as it was. To me, it was a fun tag team match. Did we need it at Backlash? I don't know. I'm not gonna make this. I'm gonna make this not long. I'm gonna make this quick. Drew McIntyre, Clay Morris, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton asked for the hot tag. I don't know why Drew just didn't go for the pin. But he gets in, goes for a hot tag, does his signature comeback, power slams, and puts the Hangman DDT on Jimmy Uso, hypes up the crowd, tries to go for the RKO. Jay comes in, but he throws him outside the ring. Roman Reigns tries to sneak up on Randy Orton, but Randy Orton catches him with a RKO. You don't never sneak up on the Viper, by the way. And then he tries to, he RKOs him. Then Jay Uso comes in the ring, super kicks Randy Orton. Then Randy Orton eventually RKO and Jay Uso as well. And then Drew tries to claymore him, but the Usos super kick him, then does the tag team super kick, and then everything dials back down to its normal pace. Riddle goes for the RKO, but counters it. But Jey Uso counters it into a pop-up net breaker for the pin. Randy Orton breaks it up, takes Jimmy Uso outside, beating on him by the announce table. Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere and he jumps on him with a Superman. He hits him off the stairs with a Superman punch on Randy Orton. Then Drew throws Roman Reigns into the stairs. Then tries to powerbomb Roman Reigns into the commentary table. But Roman Reigns kind of do like it's not a rock bottom. I forgot what it's called. I'm going to call it a book ending. He did a book ending on the table, breaking the commentary table. Then Riddle out of nowhere comes with the suicide dive. Jey Uso goes for the suicide dive. Now we get to the ending of this match with Riddle and Jey Uso on top rope. Riddle RKO's Jey Uso off the top rope, and then out of nowhere, Roman Reigns hits Riddle with the spear for the 1, 2, 3 pin. The Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey, and Jimmy Usos are your winner of this 6-man main event tag team match. Like I said, this was a fun match for what it was. I just hate that we didn't get the unification tag team match, but it is what it is. Roman Reigns wins, and I'm actually glad he didn't lose this match. I did thought that maybe they would have had one of the Usos eat the pin, but at the same time, you don't want Roman Reigns losing on his first pay-per-view. So I see why they had the Bloodline win this match, as RK Bro and Drew McIntyre can take a loss. With that being said, that is it for your post-match review for WrestleMania Backlash. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And comment what was your favorite match of tonight's WrestleMania Backlash. My favorite match would have to be Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in this 6-man tag team match. Now the highlight of the night will be Rhea Ripley joining Judgement Day alongside with Edge and Damian Priest. Now with all of that being said, that is it for your post-show your post-show review. Your post-show review. I think I'm saying that right. But we're going to have to see what they got planned for Monday Night Raw and planned for Friday Night SmackDown. But until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys again for tuning in for a post-show review. Yeah, that's right. Post-show review. Yeah. Thanks.